Welcome to the Funhaus Podcast.
This is a farewell podcast.
This
is how farewell podcasts start.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the Funhaus Podcast.
This
The
is so
Funhaus
long.
Podcast.
Lindsay, why are we here? What are we doing here?
Well,
what are we doing here?
That's a good question, James Willems. Thank you for joining me. Elise Willems, thank you for joining
Seamless.
me.
Mm-hmm.
And my name's Lindsay. And it feels weird hosting this with you guys here.
Should we?
So
This is our daughter.
I'm like,
Should we
hey,
talk
guys,
about
welcome to
why we're moving the podcast to a new channel?
Well, that's what I asked. That's what
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah.
Because I have it in my contract that I only do content for Funhaus.
Funhaus.
You know, and so I know I'm in
But
this
James,
much smaller
this is,
channel.
This is Funhaus too.
Like, look who's talking to.
Mm.
But it's a sequel.
Yeah,
Because this
but
is the
it's
sequel
also
to
as well.
Funhaus.
Yeah.
Why did we move the podcast to this channel? You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. Essentially, 2022 ended intensely for us at Funhaus. It involved a lot of change, we moved our offices. We are currently in a new office. This is a temporary setup that you're going to see for maybe a couple weeks for the podcast if you're watching on Funhaus 2.
Yeah.
Unless you guys really love this setup. Like, if people are like, this is the best
Maybe.
podcast setup I've ever
They
seen,
like
then it
that
stays.
Ryan could just like walk behind in the background randomly.
Mhm.
Yeah, because like everybody's
We'll get him to
offices
do
are
that
over
later.
here.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
might see somebody, yeah,
Yeah.
at
But
any point.
You will get a little bit more of a peek into how the offices look in the video that'll come out.
yeah. And so
Just a little bit.
Also alongside that, there's a lot of programming changes that we're doing with the channel.
Yes.
So whereas you used to be able to expect a Funhaus video from us every single day of the week except for Saturdays sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to do 3 banger videos a week. Three bangers.
Top-notch quality.
Top-notch quality. And a lot of people will ask why. I don't know how much we would just want to jump right into this.
Well,
We're kind of
I
getting-
want to talk about the podcast movie.
Let's
a
talk
little
about the
bit more.
podcast moving, then we'll circle
Because-
back to this.
I think like the audience is really aware because our audience is in tune with this sort of stuff. They pay attention to internet trends. They know what's going on in the space. That YouTube is completely different than it was the YouTube 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And so something like a long form audio podcast, you put that on a channel like this, it doesn't perform as well as shorter videos, and it creates kind of this downpull in your algorithm for the entire week.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. This podcast title should be How to Run a YouTube Channel for 8 Years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parentheses, through numerous iterations of the platform on which you generally operate.
How do you change and adapt the platform that you're on and then diversify with other platforms?
Exactly, yeah.
And yeah.
So, yeah, like Elise said, something we always saw on this channel is that, people would be watching the videos for the content that Funhaus is known for, which is us playing games, doing comedy, improvising. And then the podcast would come out and we would notice that like that podcast at best would have like 33% of the viewership of the average of all the other videos. And we understood why. It's completely different.
Yeah.
It's a long form piece of content. It's a podcast, but there was no real sense of that diversification on YouTube at the time. And then to get into more deeper stuff, when we decided, oh man, wouldn't it be great if we just made a channel where the podcast could go and other long form things like that? It was kind of like we were already baked in. There were a lot of ad reads that were sold with the expectation it would be on that channel. But going into 2023, we said, nah, let's do the thing we've wanted to do, put the content in the buckets that they should be in. So that's why we are currently here on this channel. And that's why when you're looking for the podcast from now on, this is where you're going to find it.
Yeah. And it still will be like the audio versions on all the classic podcast favorites. It's not going to be removed from that or anything. It's just if you want to watch it, this is where you come. And that ties directly into like why we moved it too, because of the way that we want to program the main channel, or that it will be programmed with those more premium videos that you mentioned.
Yeah. And then ideally, like, because the podcast is not affecting the algorithm,
We're playing the game a little.
we're like,
We got to play the game.
we got to adapt to YouTube, the way YouTube's changing. And so, in a good way, in an optimistic way, I think, because now we're thinking like, oh, the podcast won't be this anchor that's pulling down the algorithm for everything else. And we have an audience that I think right now is really excited about all of our videos and content. And you all are treating us really, really great. And you're sharing the videos. But sometimes I see comments from people saying, this didn't even come through my feed. I didn't get any notification. Like that's nothing new to anyone. And we're saying, well, what can we do to try to combat that happening?
Yeah.
And it's pivoting this,
playing that YouTube game a little bit.
It's the same accessibility that it always was, just in a slightly different place. So that way you can go. And also people are going, so what, you're just going to post one podcast per week on this channel? That seems like a waste. No, I think the plan is there's many people here that work at Funhaus that also have podcasts. And the plan is, since those are our production resources, and a lot of times they go into making those podcasts, the plan is to make this kind of a destination for those types of things too.
It's a little Funhaus podcast hub.
Kind of, yeah.
That's kind of what I think.
And other long form stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows? If you look at the channel description, I think it says, like other question mark, or I don't know what it says, but there's some sort of, openness to the possibility of who knows.
There's just different. It's accommodating different viewing and listening habits, right? And so, as opposed to trying to make someone who just wants to watch a 12-minute comedy video sit down and watch an hour-long podcast, I think the idea is no. Let's just put the podcast for the people that want the podcast, and then grow it based on it being quality and compelling, as opposed to making someone be like, oh, another Funhaus video. Maybe they're going to play a simulator. Oh, it's a podcast.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't match up.
Don't worry. Only simulators from now on
Only
out.
simulators. I mean, we're probably going to see a lot more simulators because that stuff is gold.
I love it.
But then also something you can also look for is, because I think the podcasts still have some of the best content we've made, like hilarious moments, laugh out loud moments, and stuff like that. And you will see those moments probably clipped, put maybe as shorts on the Funhaus channel, just to remind you that this exists. But
YouTube shorts.
All in all, the goal is to kind of grow this space as a more long form place where we can do more long form content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for the main channel, you want to talk about a little bit about what that could look like? Yeah,
absolutely. So people are going, so what? I get one podcast a week on Funhaus 2 and nothing else? Well, no, that's not what we said. We said the other stuff. And they go, and now you're telling me I only get 3 videos a week? Yes, but we just, and this is kind of pulling back the veil a little bit, because we've always benefited from being very transparent with our audience and like kind of letting them know what's going on. There's always been these internal classifications for us where like the Monday series has always been this like thing. We plan out what it's going to be. As soon as one ends, then we have another season of another thing ready to go. And it's always been like a big thing, traditionally always.
Tentpole.
And some of the other videos are ones that get slotted in. We continue recording, we put our best effort in, but they get slotted in. The goal now is to put that same intention behind each of the videos that goes up during the week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Mm-hmm. So something like a Marvel Mondays or a Ryan's Bargain Bin, you're going to get 3 times a week is the goal. And say, well, that's not enough content for me. Lindsay?
There's going to be at least 1 stream a week, Elise. Will there be 2?
There's going to be 2, Lindsay.
Oh, okay, that's great to hear.
Yeah. And I want to talk about the 3 videos as well, because I think something also just in terms of viewing habits, I don't know anybody that goes to a channel every day on YouTube and watches a video there. Like, do you, Lindsay, do you have any channels that you're like, I go to this channel every single day and I watch a video?
No, but there's channels that do 1 to 2 videos a week, and I do watch every one of those.
And that's like a conversation we have is what are people's viewing habits, right? Would somebody come to Funhaus every single day and watch a video, or would they think, man, I don't have time. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to go there every day and single day and watch a video. But the cadence that I can keep up with more is 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week. Like then this is completely pulling back the curtain, because these are just the conversations we have about how we can be smarter with like the channel and the business and everything of like, what are we doing, right? Like, how are we being intentional with the stuff that we're making? And that's part of it, is thinking about those viewing habits in a realistic way, right? Because there's so many streaming platforms. James and I actually, we were talking about maybe this just this is a little bit of a pivot diversion here, but like we're talking about like it seems like there's like a Gen Z or like a younger generation that like maybe
Kids these days
they don't like are out of touch with because James had watched a like teens react video of like do they know these old movies and stuff. James is like, I can't believe they know all these old movies, and I'm like, I feel like, and this is just me anecdotally reading into this, I feel like younger people, they don't have to know old movies, old TV shows, because they have so much stuff to choose from. Like they have so many there's so like when we were kids, it's like you had VHSs that you owned and you rewatched those. There was like there was a finite number of movies that came out per year. But now it's like there's so much shit. Every streaming service has like a billion things. There's just so much content that kids don't need to go back and like watch old stuff because they have an endless well of new stuff.
You can't even watch all the new stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's available on demand generally too. Like you can click and get it and then you can have it, as opposed to just being like, I'll just sit and wait until the TV Guide channel comes around and takes over another 30 minutes and then I get to see what's
like
there.
a much more ephemeral feeling to content now. And that's just my little diatribe here of like why I think we also feel like being intentional with less content is more valuable, because there's so much you can watch, right? So we want to be really intentional with the things that we're giving you to watch.
In more ways than one, I liken this channel, and have always likened this channel, to Mark McGuire.
Tell us more, James.
We just want to...
Tell us in one of those ways.
We just... in one of the ways is we just want to hit homers. We just want to hit home runs.
What about Sammy Sosa?
Sammy Sosa too, yeah. We could do that too. But
He's shouting stuff from his office.
But we want to hit home runs. In other ways that we won't go into this podcast, we also want to be like Mark McGuire.
Well, and then in other ways that are not related to baseball, but just related to when you feel pressure to have so much stuff come out, like us as a team and each individual, like, okay, we just got to have more videos because at some point the status quo or whatever was a video every day. And, there's when you have the pressure to do more, the quality can easily drop.
Yeah.
And so it's not like we're saying, and we want to make less, but these amazing videos and they're going to be perfect and amazing. The idea is that it's just like with less, you can focus more, put more of your attention into the less amount.
And I want to shout, you may have just seen him wander by, but Omar is going into his office. We can see his office.
And he's
right
closing the door.
He's also
Omar,
really into the Mark McGuire stuff.
Omar, big into the Mark McGuire stuff, right? You love the Mark McGuire metaphor? He's shaking his head, yes, and also gesturing this for some reason. I just want to say Omar has spent countless hours studying the analytics of not just like the YouTube like ecosystem, but also our own internal ecosystem, and the hours it takes to make a video what it needs to be. And then figuring out how that actually corresponds to people having a functional work-life balance.
And how much gear they got to take.
Hold on now. We're just talking hidden homers.
Oh.
All right? And so maybe that's something you can speak to as well about why we're dropping down to 3, because the goal is to make sure people can make them to the quality that they can, as opposed to going like, oop, there's the cutoff. It's got to get uploaded now. You can't put in those extra bits.
Yeah, bigger muscles means better videos.
So I can't argue that.
But the thing that we're always grappling with is work hours, the amount of hours it takes to do the amount of content that we do. And our goal has always been quality over quantity and making the best product we can for the audience that wants to watch it. And I think with this new schedule, everything that we've worked out, the people hours that go into every piece of content that we have, this is going to be the best version of what we can put out, I think, ever.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's always going to be reassessment as we go along. Like we might figure out like, we have the capacity for a 4th video sometimes or whatever. That's already kind of the goal. But like in terms of maintaining this pace, maintaining everyone's sanity isn't the right word, but enthusiasm for hidden homers. When that's all you want to do is hit homers, so that maintaining everyone's enthusiasm for that, this seems like the right number that we landed on. And it's also goes hand in hand with the other stuff that we have planned.
That we want to do more
that we want to do more of.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most creative group of people in the world. So there's lots of ideas percolating that always, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to make this bigger. Finding the time to do it and the place to put it has always been a struggle.
I don't want to be down on us, Omar, and I know what you meant, but I'm going to say Disney Imagineers and then Funhaus. The most creative people in the world.
They're right down the street from us now. They have nothing on us.
So you're tipping us off?
What about the original Reno 911 cast?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
What about the state?
They were too
really
large.
good.
They were too
That's
large.
really good.
They were too big.
So
That's why they had to split
we're saying Disney Imagineers, the state, and then Funhaus.
Then Funhaus, yeah. SCTV is just below Funhaus.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say is like our audience has been awesome. They've been super I don't know how to say it. Like they've been really for us doing what we need to do to make sure that we maintain the right balance. Like at the end of this year, we've cut back on a bunch of stuff that we put out. Everyone was super accepting and awesome and very like positive about the changes that we're making in order for us to like do things correctly.
I want someone.
We just want to thank everybody for that and also keep that going forward.
Content.
I want someone to like
entertainment.
look at every Funhaus video and be excited about it, not like look at like
Omar.
Monday and think like, oh, I'm excited for that video and I'm excited for Tuesday, but I'm not excited for this one.
Yeah.
for Friday. I think our goal is like you should look at every video this week on the channel and be excited for them all. You should feel like, oh, I have enough time to catch up on everything that the channel's putting out.
And flipping that way of thinking of, over promising and potentially under delivering, and now we want to under promise and then over deliver.
It still feels like a big promise to me.
My goal
just under promise. Keep
my
under
goal
promising.
is to be the #1 toilet channel on YouTube, which is to say that you can theoretically watch every bit of our VOD content
For the week.
on the toilet.
Okay.
That's what I want it to be.
Oh, #1 toilet channel.
Yeah.
Is that in the channel description?
It could be. And if someone does that, if we get this thing rolling and someone can show me the numbers and say, I only watched your videos while I was on the toilet this week and I got through everything, that's how I know that we're on the right track.
Well, and one of my goals is I want to be the #1 wasted my time at work watching Funhaus streams channel.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, because the streams. Sorry, we diverted back, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that we're going to be like streaming a lot more. Right now we have a stream that goes up every Friday. Usually Jacob's just playing something random with some of us. And I often host the community live streams that are on Tuesdays, but we're just going to add more hours to that like roster and try to have a little bit more fun.
Yeah. I mean,
Jacob, you want to come here to talk about the stream stuff briefly?
From a pure
He's like,
content
no.
standpoint, people are like, "Oh, so you guys are going to go from like 5, 6 videos down to just 3? That's way fewer hours of content." Well, shockingly, it's actually going to go way up because
It's going to be a lot of like just content.
Yeah.
So much content.
Yeah.
So many exciting things planned. It's going to be a Gundam channel.
Okay.
Now
Well,
on.
it might
That's
be.
my promise.
Jacob Fullerton.
It might be though. I mean, we've talked about like what we want streams to be because I think there's a reason we aren't all streamers, right? Like, there's a reason, and there's a reason Funhaus has been making VODs for so long is because the thing that makes us laugh the hardest or the best of the cream of the crop bits from these VOD stuff. And so as we're going into streaming, which we're planning on doing twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we want it to have that same energy or at least be an outlet for that kind of like hardcore viewership.
Oh yeah, we've already talked about like a lot of the streams that we want to do for the next like couple months.
Yeah.
And stuff. Lots of really good ideas.
Yeah.
Did you already talk about like what the different days, like what's the difference between the Tuesdays and the Thursdays
No, we haven't.
are?
You want to do
Didn't
it?
even mention that we would be streaming on Tuesdays and
Oh,
Thursdays.
whoops.
Yeah.
I missed
No,
the other part
please.
of this podcast.
Sorry, Jacob, just to add one thing too, because like I feel like this is also just us like speaking really plainly about the things we discuss.
Yeah.
We in thinking about like consumer habits, which is like a really reductive and sterile way of saying it, but we're thinking about like what you guys like to watch, and you guys like to watch streams. That's like what we've obviously know is people like to watch streams. So that's part of this being like, well, what can we give that people will want? And yeah, Jacob, you want to talk more about the days?
Sure.
He announced the days.
I announced the days on accident. Sorry, I was in
No,
there
no, it's
for the rest of the podcast. So yeah, the Tuesdays the idea with those is that's more of like a long form stream. Like maybe we'll find a game. Like for example, not guaranteeing that it's happening, but like if we continue doing some more Elden Boys, me and Patrick and James, we'd play for 4 hours on a Tuesday.
Sure.
And people will be able to watch it.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Why is it always boys? It's always Star Boys, Elden. Why can't it just be like Elden men or people?
Men definitely doesn't work. If you watch the video, you know men doesn't apply.
I specifically didn't do anything with that in the video because I'm like, we don't need more boys. But then people keep calling it that to me.
Yeah.
For some reason.
If we ever played more of that Brothers game, which nobody knows that we played it.
Talk about that.
Well, this is 2020, I think. Or early 2021. It was still work from home. Elise and I started playing through this game, Brothers. It's like a co-op game.
Yeah, it's Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. That was a Joseph Perez game.
And it's fun, and you're meant to play it together. You're each supposed to be controlling one part of it, but we played it together, but we couldn't physically play it together. So then I pretty much actually just played it by myself, which feels like defeats the purpose.
So you just watched?
Just to say, all that to say, we recorded maybe like 3 episodes, and we could release it, and we could call it Brothers Girls.
Brother Girls.
All of that is because I just wanted to say Brothers
Gotcha.
Girls.
Yeah, we could play it again. Well, because there's couch co-op.
Yes.
Nothing else.
Which the game seems like it would be so fun if we actually got to do
Yes,
that.
we
just
could do
wanted
it
to bring
again.
that up.
That's the thing is we could do it again on a stream now together.
Yeah.
I think part of the streaming intention is about like figuring out the community that we have, because there's a lot of people that just want to pop in, watch something, get a laugh, and then they don't want to comment, they don't want to react, they don't go to our subreddit, they don't go any further than
lurk.
that. They just want to lurk, and that's perfectly fine. That's how I watch
Me too.
basically everything.
I'm a lurker.
I don't need to ingratiate myself with the community or anything like that. But then we have another circle of people that like we have a very active subreddit. We have very active commenters and people that come out for our live streams when we do them that are like super active, super fun and everything like that. And we see from them that there's stuff that they want a little bit more of. So some of the stuff that Jacob's talking about with the Tuesday streams at least, which are us going deeper into games than we ever would on a regular VOD video. Some things you might see here are we'll often play a video game and people go, I hope they continue that. Please let them continue it. But we know that like episode 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
And the way the algorithm works into that too.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
It just, the further you go, sometimes the worse it gets in terms of viewership. And then also you realize when you asked for a whole series, you realize you weren't sure what you were asking for.
And you're like, oh, never mind.
But I think the streaming slots like that are really fun places to explore this. So we play a game to make the best, we keep saying cream of the crop because that's what Macho Man says, cream of the crop VOD video out of that, right? And then we go, and guess what? We are going to keep playing this scary game, or we are going to keep playing this stupid FMV or whatever. We're going to play the whole thing. We're going to stream it all. So the goal with this is we're going to get through a lot more stuff. I don't know. It probably hasn't started already yet. This is going to go up before it started, but the very first stream is going to be something we wouldn't do a gameplay of otherwise. But I'm going to play all of Sonic Frontiers. All of Sonic Frontiers.
Jacob just clutched his pearls.
But it's fun too because we've always run into this thing where we'll play these games, and if we stream them, we can't. If we interact with the community, none of that ever translates when we cut it down into a gameplay. It just means that we have to kill those jokes because otherwise you have to set up that context or have the context of the comments. But I think that the cool thing about this is we can do that.
Yeah.
We can have that fun. It can be Jacob, Patrick, and I going after boss fights, but then we can also be like asking chat what weapons we should use in the boss fight. They can set rules for us, and we can do stuff like that to make
like
it
a real
very,
stream.
very
It's
interactive, very
fun.
fun, and purposeful. Like the goal is never to just walk into a room, switch on a light, and then quietly play a game for a stream slot. Like we're programming it and thinking about it the same way we're thinking about those 3 videos.
Yeah, we're all going to be together. Not going to be like remote stuff like a lot of our streams have been. So we'll just be playing video games and goofing, talking to the chat. It's going to be great.
I'm going to play Kirby. No one knows that yet, but that's going to happen at some point.
That's great.
Forgotten Lands?
Yes, Jacob, the new Kirby game.
We're setting up like some hopeful milestones for us as well. That
Yeah.
like I have certain Everests that I think would be fun to chip away 4 hours at a time.
Yeah.
So.
And
I think it'd be
sometimes
a lot
we'll
of
like
fun.
even come back to games too.
Yeah.
Like maybe a couple weeks, do some other stuff, then come back to like God of War or
Yeah.
Elden Ring or something like that, or
Yeah.
Sonic Frontiers, which you'll playing to completion.
Playing to
And
100%.
So do you want to talk just a little bit briefly, and then we can move on about what, if we're streaming on Thursday, maybe what that looks
Oh
like.
yeah, I was gonna just go right into the Thursday stuff, because I think we basically summed up what Tuesdays is gonna look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 hours of just gaming on Tuesdays. It's gonna be great, but it's not gonna be the same on Thursday during our second stream of the week. Somebody else want to talk about that?
Well, it's-
Jacob's like, I'll handle the segues.
yeah, which I already did the segue, and then he did it
No, it was a
again.
good segue.
It was, I mean,
it's a human centipede.
hey,
segue.
it felt like it needed to be told twice. Thursday is going to be more of a, like, we can slot different things in, try different things, have community interaction
Party
shows,
stuff, more party games,
party
and
couch
stuff.
co-op games.
Playing Mario Party. We've been
Segments.
tossing around with Lindsay the term Thirsty Thursdays.
Yeah.
It's a
So
good,
maybe some drinking streams in our future.
Not that Tuesday streams aren't chill, but it could be chill, but it could also be like, oh, we have more people in there
Yeah.
playing stuff. It's less focused on one thing. There could also be more slots. So it could be like a game for an hour.
kind of
for
like
an
a
hour, for an hour.
grab bag of entertainment. Okay.
That's the goal for that.
I
Thursdays.
like the idea of also incorporating like some, maybe if we're going to stream some community events, maybe we can hop on a server, do some stuff like that. Or, like I said, Jackbox party games or something like that. Any type of game that allows us to like also play with the people who are watching and who want to play and participate in that way.
Yeah.
I
Or maybe
think that's
even-
a cool opportunity to do that.
Yeah, or maybe even there's just a movie that just came out and we're like, we
that would be
yeah.
so
want
fun.
to jump on this. We saw it Wednesday because a lot of movies you can see Wednesday night premieres here in LA. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like we want to jump on, talk about this movie that some of us saw, like stuff like
Some
that.
just chatting, I believe is
Yeah.
the term the kids use, just chatting.
And speaking
Just
of community
chatting.
stuff, like the big part of that stream is also like looking at what the community's been up to on
Oh,
like
yeah.
the
Sharing.
subreddit and Twitter
Yeah.
and all that stuff, fan art, all those goodies.
Yeah, I still want to continue that type of community show that was woo 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 woo, and then Ari, and then the stream. So it's gonna just like slide right into this new kind of programming that we're doing because I really enjoy that. I like looking at fan art and like seeing what people are saying, and I hope that the people get excited when they see like their own fan art.
I mean,
that's mine.
It's always
I
been
glued
the
it.
case. I think one of the most amazing things about this is like when people make fan art of like some sort of joke you made or some sort of character or some sort of voice you did is like always so satisfying. But when you don't have a format to share that, I think it discourages people from feeling like it's just
Yeah.
going to get lost into the ether. You can comment, you can say thank you or whatever.
Yeah.
But we always feel bad when we don't have a place where we can like share
Yeah.
it with everyone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like Jacob will die someday.
Yeah. Oh, for
A
sure.
horrible, horrible death.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably not at his own hand, but
Absolutely not.
could be an accident. Could be someone he knows. Usually,
It's probably someone.
it's
he
probably
knows.
someone you know.
Might be someone in this room.
So he's definitely gonna go. Maybe there's a fire. He burns alive,
Yeah.
stabbed. He's gonna die, but this fan art will live on.
Unless it's also lost in the
Exactly.
Yeah. Stabbed.
fire, you know.
But until then, I'm still gonna make sure that Minch Yoda appears on these streams because
Yeah,
we got
yeah.
the puppet,
Yes.
and at
you-
least will be the one killing me.
Minch for 4 hours is a big ask, but maybe Minch for 30 minutes on a Thursday is possible.
30 morbid Minch
Oh
bits.
God, no. But I think it'll be fun. We're gonna keep it flexible, but that's the goal for those 2 days is to make it very much like that. And I think it all ties down, unless there's some other thoughts we have on streaming that we want to share. It all ties down to us really doubling down on the community in 2023 as well.
Yeah. I'm excited for streaming and those 3 videos a week that are going to be just like a little bit more love put into each one. And then occasionally, some other videos that might just pop in throughout the month.
Something I'm excited for too is the prospect of having clips, because we may be able to, with this new strategy, get ahead, like to get further ahead. Are you just tapping on the mic? That's not going to be fun for anyone listening.
I'm so sorry, listeners. I had to see if this mic was on.
Whoa, the editor will edit that out of the sound, please.
Jacob, you want to sit down?
Oh no, I'm great right here. I've been sitting all day.
I'm so sorry, listeners. Don't leave. Watch the 3 videos a week on the channel. Watch the streams.
I think the goal would be that we could get so far ahead, because a lot of times it's a race to the finish to make sure you can have your Monday video on time. But I think the goal is, with this new strategy, we could get further ahead, and then we could even start showing clips on Thursday. Here's this really funny preview of the video that's coming out next Wednesday or whatever, or next Monday. Like, I think that stuff, keeping it really open-ended, could be really fun too.
Look at how hot we look.
Look at how amazing and talented
Bikini stream.
So we have a little bit more to talk about, but we are going to take a quick ad break, and we will be right back afterwards. And we're going to talk about some other fun stuff that we're setting up for you guys. Today's episode is sponsored by PayPal Honey, the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or computer. I love shopping online, and I love it even more when I get a surprise savings, okay? It's like a little treat for me. Thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. And here's how it works. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. When you go to checkout, you hit the little Honey button because he appears up there, and all you have to do is click apply coupons, okay? Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site. If Honey finds a working coupon, you will watch the prices drop. Like I said, I pretty much order everything online, and that includes treats and toys for my sweet dog, Arlen. Just last week, I had to get her some new toys because she just rips right through them. I saved like $5 on a few of her toys, which is great because she always needs new toys. Honey doesn't just work on desktops, it works on your iPhone too. Just activate it on Safari, on your phone, and save on the go, okay? If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight missing out. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. Get PayPal Honey for free at joinhoney.com/FHpod. That's joinhoney.com/FHpod. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you to that sponsor.
Thank you.
We touched on something there for a moment with the bikini streams.
Uh-huh.
Are we going to get a hot tub in the office? I know it's completely carpeted.
I think
Wouldn't
that's
rule it
possible.
out. We wouldn't rule it
There's
out.
some tiled rooms. There's some
We may
tiled
have
rooms.
more on that topic coming up in just a few minutes here. So
Yeah. Well, one thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that I think we see it on Reddit a lot, and in our comments, people say, well, how can I support you more? I want to support Funhaus. I want to support. Well, the number one way, of course, is watching the videos, sharing the videos. That goes so much further because you are then helping us play the game. But we wanted to create another way, right? We wanted to give you another path to support us and what we're doing.
So yeah, I mean, this is kind of like Lindsay said, just to be clear, you don't have to do anything.
No.
Nobody's got to do anything.
No, but you do need to watch.
And if you do anything, the only thing you ever should do is watch and share.
Yeah.
Toss it to a friend. And we're not saying you have to post it, make a tweet about it or whatever,
Yeah.
but just be like, oh, I watched this really funny video. Here, share it with your partner or share it with your friends or whatever like that. That goes infinitely further than you could ever imagine. It's so valuable in terms of making the channel grow because we are growing. But something we realized is, and this is something we talked about, is we have the option to do channel memberships.
Yes.
On YouTube. And they have been on for some time.
Yeah, I made a note here to say, we have members. We have some members. And if you're a member, you know that you don't get anything right now, right? There's nothing. We're not offering anything.
Yeah.
But we appreciate it. But there's nothing there. So I think we're excited to now give you a little something.
So we
for
basically
doing it.
went back and spent a lot of time. Yeah, Elise.
I thought you were going to say the best way to support was for people to get you and Patrick yacht apes.
Oh, well, we have most of them.
Oh, you do?
But I mean, sure, we'll throw some more on the pile.
Okay, so yeah, but you're saying that's not buying you guys yacht apes; it's buying you channel memberships.
You can buy us the yacht apes. We'll take them. But I mean, at a certain point,
more?
At a certain point, we're like Scrooge McDuck diving into his vault.
Lindsay, if you had to guess who has more yacht apes,
Between the two of them?
Yeah.
No, don't they share? Yeah.
No, you can't share. It's not fungible. You
Don't
can't
you have-
share.
It's not
We each
fungible.
You have a
our
shared
own
wallet. No, you have one wallet.
Oh, I would be crazy to share a wallet with Patrick. You kidding me? I got my side wallet.
You have the
We have so here's what Patrick and I have.
Jatrick
We
wallet.
each have our own wallet. Okay, and then we have a shared wallet. Because sometimes we do go for the higher priced apes, we will go in on them together. But we also do have our own apes individually. So from that bucket, not counting the shared apes that we have under our C corp or in our S corp, we have our S corp that.
So would you say
one of the membership perks will be you get a tour of their NFT collection.
it looks like a dollhouse?
It's,
Would
just, it's a USB dongle. What are you talking about?
Would you say that getting a Funhouse channel membership is our yacht ape?
I would say it has just slightly less value.
Oh,
If you were a member last year, you were receiving just slightly less value than a Bored Ape. But no, like I think that was one of the things we were looking. We're like, we have these people who are subscribed as members, and like we felt bad that we weren't rewarding people for wanting to take that extra step in supporting us. Number one, we're gonna bring back open house.
What? That's crazy.
We were trying to find the old music.
I was never here for that, so I don't even know
I
what
tell
that
you
is.
what, you bring back open house, I'll be on it.
Yeah, so
I'll do it.
a fun.
tell you
It's
what.
going to be a fun question and answer show, similar to the format that we had before. We're going to have the cameras set up with 2 people per shot, and we're going to we're going to do a monthly open house where we're going to be pulling member questions as prompts and going in at that.
So you're gonna do the.
If we can find the music, got to Google all of our
Just rip it.
royalty-free libraries for Bossa Nova.
Oh boy.
Also, all the stream archives, because we talked about all those streams we're going to be doing.
So the VOD will stay up for members.
All those VODs are going up for members. We also talked about community polls.
So they can members can weigh in on
On-
decisions that we're gonna
On
make.
decisions. I mean, one of
Creative.
the decisions that we've already discussed is we're planning on doing more board game stuff.
Ooh.
This is gonna be for everybody.
Yeah.
Not exclusive to members, but we're gonna do it anyway. But we're gonna be like, all right, which game do you want us to play next?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
kind of like
you have a
Yeah.
couple of options.
Yeah.
and
Or
you
even
can
with,
vote
like,
on the one you want most.
Content we stream, would you rather watch us play X game or Y game?
yeah.
We'll put that to members first.
Yeah. We're also going to be doing a monthly, at least, vlog.
Yeah, sort of just behind the scenes vlog type stuff, hanging out here.
Called the Minch Minute.
Yeah, the Minch Minute.
And
Well, we're keeping it open ended so we can do things like the Minch
No, the
Minute.
Minch Monthly.
I think another thing was discussed was John and I see how long we can survive working underneath a table.
oh, I see.
Just
well,
document that
The Minch
journey.
Monthly, the show can only last as long as before he decomposes.
Oh, well then we won't have very long.
He's
at all.
rotting from the inside.
Yeah. Don't buy 6 months in advance for
Yeah.
sure.
How will I puppet and do the voice as well? Jacob wonders. Because this is not the usual way that we do this.
This is very impressive.
Minch, what do you think about all the plans the Funhouse has for 2023? Size matters not, as Minch has foretold. 3 videos a week. Good to me sound.
This is like when Andy Kaufman
this so much.
has someone else play that comedian
Yeah.
in the mustache. Tony Curtis or whatever.
No, Tony Curtis is Jamie Lee Curtis's father, but yes.
Tony Curtis.
Why do you know the name of her father?
But then the other thing also are Full House. Full. We're gonna put up full plays. There's things we haven't even mentioned. We're toying with the idea of having special community posts go up there. Omar showing off his shoe collection, but I think people want to see probably the apes more. The people want to see
Yeah.
the yacht apes more. So, but all kinds of stuff like that is the plan to go in those spots. And then should we talk about? Is there more that we want to discuss about those perks? But
The only thing that I was going to say is we did that trial run a couple weeks ago, or I guess a couple months ago at this point, during Thanksgiving, where I did the FHTV marathon.
yes.
And people were really excited that it was back. Then we did another little series run of Must Be Dice. So it's something we're looking into. It's not up and running yet, so I can't make any promises. So that is one of the things that we're excited about.
Yeah.
Hopefully bring back.
Orchestrated by our own Lindsay.
Yeah.
I actually don't know if the viewing of it will be members only, but I think the chat might if we have that. I'm not sure, but we just know that we want to bring
Under
it back.
promise, Lindsay. Over deliver. Always.
It's for members only. No, I don't know. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
But yeah,
Hopefully.
so again, the goal is we'll have those 3 videos for everybody, the streams everybody can watch. But then if you want to support us, because again, we're planning on really interacting with the community a lot in those streams. So like if you want to support us, we want to make sure that it's not just for a shout out. It's not just for a thing that like we want to be producing content for people at that level that feels very, very rewarding.
Yeah, and you won't get shouted out. You'll get woofed out.
Yeah, you might get barked at. You might get barked at.
Hounded.
This may be a
Hounded out.
member poll, but in terms of what we want to name people in those tiers,
Yeah, what
like,
our member names are.
I'm pushing really hard for the junkyard, and then like I call you a mangy dog.
Well, there's like your puppy tier, your big dog
The
tier.
pound puppies,
Somebody,
yeah.
I think maybe Jacob or Charlotte or Patrick said the bitch tier.
Okay,
Bitch
yeah,
tier.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's top tier.
a lot of options there. In terms of like major events for this year, we have one that is going to come up at the end of January.
Yeah.
We're going to do a big live stream kind of like kicking off all of this. The programming will already start. So you can watch all this stuff and enjoy it through
Like streaming
through
and
January.
stuff like
yeah.
that.
But then at the end of January, we want to do kind of like a celebration, just so you heads up. It's supposed to coincide with some very important aspects of this office being up and running.
We call it Star Boys Celebration.
The Star Boys celebration of boys.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to use that as kind of an opportunity to do like kind of a member drive, but it's going to be for everybody. We're going to have all kinds of different perks, content goals. If we hit
Yeah.
a certain number of members, we're going to do ensure that we're going to make special content that we don't want to talk about just yet.
Not yet.
But there's all kinds of stuff. We're going to be playing for how many hours are we already? We're saying at least 12, right?
Yeah. So
At least 12.
I think. Oh God, is this me overpromising? In the vein of a subathon, but we don't know
Yeah.
how long it'll go.
Yeah.
But this is basically just the same concept as a subathon. We have goals that we want to hit,
Yeah.
and because we want
yeah.
to make more fun content.
At a certain number of subs, we smash the dongle.
What are you talking? Smash the dongle after we copy all the assets?
No.
We can't
Sledgehammer.
copy the assets. They're non-fungible.
Exactly. So actually, that should be that should be one of the things where Patrick and James's dongle that they have all their apes on. We hit that certain tier. We smash the dongle on the
Couldn't we
stream.
just screenshot your yacht
No,
ape?
they wouldn't have. They'd have a screenshot of the ape,
It's the
Lindsay. It's
same
not the
thing.
same thing.
That's going to be the highest tier, I think.
Yeah.
The highest tiers
Is
are
a
going to smash the
screenshot
dongle that
of
has
the-
all
oh.
our apes on
I
it.
think so.
I thought the highest tier
Are
is
you- you're
everybody
talking-
gets
so
a,
you're
s-
talking
a
about-
screenshot.
I'm talking about my wallet, Patrick's wallet, and our shared S Corp
Yeah,
wallet.
that's what I'm talking about. Are
You're
you
like
willing?
the Joker in Dark
Look-
Knight when he slides down the money.
How much do you care about this channel? Are you and Patrick willing to put up your dongle?
Well, what's going to make me more money, this channel or my apes? That's a great question. Except it's not a great question because we know the answer is
right.
apes. So, but there's going to be more information about that with the goal that no one will ever, the impossible, unrealistic goal that we'll never hit to try and get Patrick and I to smash the dongle that has our apes on it. But yeah, it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of stuff, and that'll also coincide with like the first rollout of like some of these perks. So
Yeah.
that'll be when you're going to see our vlog, you're going to see open house,
house.
you're going to see all stuff like the fun stuff like that.
And the second crypto crash, which is when we smash the dongle.
Oh.
By the dip.
Those are all the big things that we have planned for
Yeah.
this year.
This is something that we're going to continue calibrating. There's certain things that we want to make sure we stay the course on, because the last thing we'd want to do is have someone sign up with the expectation of getting X only to receive Y. So we're we're definitely doing the open house. We're definitely doing everything we mentioned here. But
I did want to mention actually, because like just in case it was confusing at all, but the streams, like they're just going to be on the YouTube channel because I know there's so many places that you can stream, and I just wanted to bring that up because I don't think we mentioned it specifically.
Yeah.
So you'll just kind of have your two places, like your Funhouse. For now, you'll have your Funhouse channel and the Funhouse 2, which is where this podcast is, but
yeah,
it's going to be these streams on YouTube.
Any secret streams on Funhouse too?
maybe.
Ooh,
It's a great idea.
fun.
Secret stream. I mean, we're talking about like other fun content to put on this channel as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think also like just something that I'm just curious about is
How did Mark McGuire get so strong so fast?
and I think we should continue to poll you all in different places and see how you think about this. But like, where do you guys want to like consume and support Funhouse? Like, is that YouTube? Is that Twitch? Is that Twitter? Is that Instagram? Is that TikTok? Like, we never really ask you all where you want to be doing that stuff. Like, and so I think that's something we will start continuing to ask and poll and ask you, like, are there platforms that you're more engaged with that you want to be seeing us on more?
Mm-hmm. And also we're also exploring the best ways, because like I mentioned, I know we have a very active subreddit, and then we also have people that are active in the comments, and we'd love to figure out ways to make sure that none of those areas are neglected in favor of other places. We still want people to find their home where they want to find their home to chat about Funhouse. Minch, it looks like you have something you wanted to say.
Tired now, Minch is, from emphatic gesturing. Minch, what just beautiful message for Funhouse 2023. Minch love all members of Funhouse equally. As Minch loves his own Padawans.
Wow. I didn't know the Padawans.
And Minch, so grateful for outpouring of support from Funhouse community.
That's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Minch.
Thanks, Minch.
Yeah.
I think we covered everything that we wanted to just like fill you in on. But I wanted to maybe wrap things up. Is there anything like that we haven't talked about in a big group that you're like, I kind of want to do that this year? Is there anything that's been in your mind that's bigger than these things?
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you, and we wanted to do it. We wanted to do it already, but because of the move, we weren't able to. But we want to bring back Games Done Slow. And we wanted to do it, but the way the dates that it was, because I believe it just happened or is happening right now, didn't coincide with us.
It's about to.
Being up and running in this space to be able to do it, not even in the way we'd want to, but in any functional way. But we are looking ahead and saying, like, we can catch the summer session, because I think that's something that I've always really enjoyed doing. I felt like it's for a great cause, and everyone seems to have a lot of fun. It's a bit of an endurance test, but I think in this space, if we get everything the way we want it to be, it could be a lot more comfortable than it's ever been, and just a really fun time for everyone to kind of join in and see a bunch of us play weird games extremely well.
Yeah. I think this is very cryptic, and if we don't deliver something, it's going to be like, what? But
Cryptoid?
Lindsay and I have another project that we are part of that if it delivers and gets off the ground as intended, I think will be really cool and for a lot of people.
I think it would be very cool too.
That we are but parts of.
That's true.
Thelma
That's
and
all we can
Louise
say.
2.
And there's a third thing that I want to do, which is the Funhouse European tour.
Okay.
Oh, right, of
I
course.
see.
Of course.
Okay.
Yes, the European tour. We never did
right?
Funhouse Hawaiian style.
No.
So it's going to have to go to
What?
the end of the line.
We at one point we were like, what if Rooster Teeth sent Funhouse to Hawaii to make content?
Well, we pitched it as an RT doc.
Yeah.
They were like, when they were doing RT docs and just people were getting to do whatever they want to, we were like, what about an RT doc where we went to Hawaii? They're like, what's the premise?
We'll
We're
surf.
Like, we'd be in Hawaii.
We'll learn to surf.
We'd go to a museum.
Oh, we didn't talk about how Spool's coming back. I'm sorry, he's not.
I was gonna say. I mean, he can. We can.
Yeah,
we
Spool.
can. We can do. I'm totally
Spool,
down to get Spool to come back.
Since you're
if he wants to
watching,
come back. But yes, that is not currently a perk. But I can talk to him. I'll chat with him. See what he wants.
Can we meet in Europe?
Yeah,
we meet Spool in Europe?
Yeah. Here's the goal. If we hit a certain number of members, we send Spool to Europe.
Oh shit!
He sends us back like a little bit of footage every
Spool
single day.
Spool needs a cameraman.
No, you could do that with a phone these days. With a selfie stick.
Damn it.
But yeah. So again, it seems like there's a lot of change, but I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for everything. Like even some of the videos that I've already seen that are coming out in January are like really, really fun. And we have a lot of ideas for what it's going to continue being. I think this, like Jacob said, we have already planned out the streams because we don't want it to be the kind of thing where we're like, oh, what are we doing today? And then we just kind of figure it out. So the streams that we're planning are going to be really fun. And yeah, I think it'll be cool.
And keep coming back for this podcast here on this channel because we're gonna keep gonna keep happening. We're gonna be having these conversations, these kind of just like chit chat conversations, incorporating like fun little games, talking about pop culture, talking about games,
And
like video games.
I think have like a different feel once we finally like have our new sets built out and everything too.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it all.
Oh yeah, just because right now the rooms where we play video games in, like our single cam room where you see most of the comedy gameplays, like that's not built out yet.
They're
So-
non-existent.
They don't exist.
So like I'm really excited for a point where that stuff exists, and it when you're performing stuff, it just feeds you in what you're doing,
Yeah.
and so
I love
that'll
it.
be cool.
Yeah. But we're excited to hear what everyone thinks. Good, bad reactions, all are welcome, but we're going to filter out all the bad ones and only look at the good ones. No, I think it's going to be really fun. Again, having seen the slate of content that's coming, I honestly think it's going to be the best of the best stuff.
The best
Yeah,
of
some
the best.
Criterion Collection stuff.
Yeah.
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 The Disney Vault will open and out.
Yeah.
The apes.
The
Just
apes.
flooding.
Absolutely not. You guys aren't getting my apes.
Oh, well,
there's
we'll
not
see.
there's no way enough
It's
people
gonna
will
be
sign up.
It's
There's
gonna be
no way
a
enough
thing in
people
the
will sign up.
subathon that if we
There's
hit,
no way enough people will sign up to get Patrick and I to smash our apes dongle. Not a chance.
you two have to do it.
Crypto crash.
You two have to do it. It's not even like Lindsay.
It's not going to
smashes
happen.
it.
So yeah, sure, it's not going to happen.
We'll see.
I would bake it into a cake.
Eat it.
Yeah, feed it to you.
I have to
I
eat
put
it.
it in a big cookie and then you eat it. I don't know what I'm talking about. I think that we're pretty much probably done here.
Yeah.
Just want to say, thanks for watching. And by the way, Happy New Year, because it's a new year, 2023. And come back to this channel next week for this podcast or wherever you're listening to this. And check out some of our streams that we're going to have going on.
And I also want to say, I wouldn't normally be wearing this jacket here, except that I noticed that the color of my shirt was the same color as the chair. And so when I sat here, it just looked like a floating head. So
Let's see
I put
it.
on the jacket so that way it would.
We're going to see that?
I guess we can see it. Sure, here.
Oh yeah, that's disgusting. That's awful.
Floating head and arms. Thanks for watching, everybody. Say bye.
Say bye, floating head.
Bye, floating head.